Namaskar. I'm Ashok Vyas. Welcome to Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. This is our weekly edition, and we'll begin with this week with Pantry Dr. Sudhir Parikh. We will have a report from an event featuring Ruma Devi. And who is this Indian social worker? You will learn about that in today's Vision of Asia. Also, we have another important, inspiring women leader in today's Vision of Asia, and that was the first IPS officer of India, Kiran Bedi, visiting ITV studio. Dr. Uma Maisurekar, president of Hindu Temple Society of North America, talks to us about the upcoming Jeernodhar Mahakumbh Abhishek, a festive event organized from House of Chick and Vandana Puri. We'll have a report on those luxury clothes, which also are considered inspiring in their own way. And Sanatan Mandir at Parsi Pen in New Jersey celebrated its 30th anniversary. ITV Gold will have a special report on that. All this coming up right after these short messages. Stay with us. In this week with Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh, we have some of the important events with analytical look by Dr. Parikh.
And now, time for weekly show with a passionate India lover, chairman of ITV Gold and Parikh Worldwide Media. Get ready for loving sharing from physician, philanthropist, publisher, and India advocate in this week.
Good evening and welcome to This Week with Dr. Sudhir Parikh, where Padma Shri recipient Dr. Sudhir Parikh will be sharing his views on some of the issues making news this week in US, India and elsewhere. Thank you, Dr. Parikh, for talking to us.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. My first question to you, or rather, it's about Mr. Mikhail Gorbachev. The Nobel Peace Laureate Mikhail Gorbachev, the last leader of the former Soviet Union from 1985 until 1991, died at the age of 91 yesterday. He forged arms reduction deals with the United States and partnerships with Western powers to remove the Iron Curtain that had divided Europe since World War II and bring about the reunification of Germany. Despite being celebrated across liberal democracies, the former Soviet leader was unpopular in Russia. Putin famously referred to the end of the Soviet Union as the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of the century. It was November 26, 1986, when the Soviet leader arrived in New Delhi for a three-day visit. It was one of the most high-profile visits of the year, and hundreds of thousands of people gathered to welcome him. Mikhail Gorbachev's India visit scripted history, enhanced ties, and weakened US grip on Delhi. Reflect on the life of Mr. Gorbachev and how changes in the geopolitical equations affected the world over the years.
Well, President Gorbachev was really a very tall leader of the Soviet Union. He has done, he reformed or he changed the whole world politics, kind of, say, he lifted the Iron Curtain and he kind of negotiated armed nuclear treaty with the USA and the NATO. And also he opened up opened up the Western market for the Russia. And of course, and given even independent of those countries who wanted to be a democratic and who wanted to be independent, of course, they are still kind of connected with Russia, but not as a part of the Soviet Union. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a great service to the Russia by Gorbachev. Of course, he was not very popular after this action in Russia, because Russia wanted to dominate the world. Mm-hmm. And by doing this, I think they realized that Gorbachev give away so much, but it is not true. Actually, that time Russia's economy was very poor, was struggling very hard, and in order to revive that economy, Gorbachev has done this thing.
But he was very unpopular in
Yeah,
Russia.
because
And he's said to be responsible for the disintegration of Soviet Union. How much is that true? Like, is
no,
he
it
solely
is true that,
responsible?
of course, his action did a disintegration of the Soviet Union, but he did in the benefit of the Russia. Because why? Because see, even though they disintegrated the Soviet Union, still those countries are still very closely connected with the Russia in the trade and economy, but they themselves are independent within their own country. So I think it's the best of the both worlds. He made more country more independent and democratic, and he revived the Russian economy, which was very kind of going downhill that time.
And imagine he was responsible for nuclear disarmament treaty, especially with India, and they had like
Correct.
beautiful relations.
Right.
Okay, so my next question is, an average of 82 people were murdered Delhi across India in 2021, while more than 11 kidnappings were reported every single hour during the year, according to the latest National Crime Records Bureau NCRB report. Among the top 5 states reporting murders were Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh and West Bengal, it showed. Delhi recorded 459 cases in which 478 people were murdered, according to the NCRB figures. According to the NCRB, Delhi reported 5,527 cases involving 5,888 victims of kidnapping and abduction at a rate of 26.7, the highest among the states and union territories in India. Why is the state of law and order so bad in India? What strict actions must be taken by the center and state governments to prevent this?
See, all the law and order is a responsibility of the state government. So this is more to the state government that they should be very strict. They should be follow the books of the law and order, and make sure that no corruption or no nepotism or no favoritism should be done to the people who breaks the law. And law, person who breaks the law should be legally tried, and then if they're found guilty, should be punished. It should not let them go free without punishment. And if you start doing that, then probably the amount of criminal crimes and amount of murders will be less. And most of the majority of the murders are usually either drug related, or it's a gangster murder, or it's a money related murders.
Why are people not afraid of law anymore?
Because I think in India the judiciary system moves a little slow. Plus, I think there is still a lot of corruption at that level, and so people get free. Escape from that kind of punishment. So unless you punish the people, doesn't matter what kind of person he is, whether it's from the VIP society or middle class society or lower society, if there is a crime, it should be punished according to crime. And unless you do that, all this thing keep happening.
Like, I was happy to read about Seema Patra, the BJP leader who was suspended because she was abusing her domestic help. So
Right.
Hats off.
So the laws are there actually, but people are not implementing those.
Moving on, Rahul Gandhi will embark on the Padyatra, a foot march covering about 3,500 kilometers from Kanyakumari in Tamil Nadu to Kashmir over about 150 days on September 7th. The Congress's Bharat Jodo Yatra will not be a speaking yatra but a listening one, where Rahul Gandhi will not give speeches but listen to various sections of the society, senior party leader Jairam Ramesh said today. Your thoughts on this?
Well, I think all the party has right to do this kind of political activism, because I think that's their role, that either they should connect with the people, listen to their complaint, listen to their concern. And I think it's a good idea for any party. It doesn't have to be, I'm talking about Congress, but in general, I think all the parties should do this thing. That way, at least people should feel that someone is listening to them.
Somebody's listening.
So I think overall, I think it's a good concept.
Thank you so much. Your last words before.
Well, dear friends, this week we had two VVIP guests in our studio. Dr. Kiran Bedi, as you know, she was former governor of Pondicherry and very decorated IPS officer in the past. And also Rama Devi, who has done so much for women, so much for the Dalits, and so much for the underprivileged, to lift them up. And so both icons of the India were here. We had a great conversation with them. We learned quite a lot from them, and we wish them all the best and continue doing service to the motherland. And we all are very obliged and thankful to them. So everyone, God bless America, God bless India, God bless Indian American, and we'll see you next time. Till then, goodbye.
Deepak Kavaria has been a community leader through NRI Federation. He has worked with community on several fronts. He joined hands with Ms. Shobana Patel and Mrs. Surabhi and hosted an event in honor of Ruma Devi. She's an Indian social worker. She's also a fashion designer, and she focuses on traditional handicraft with artists from Bardmer, Rajasthan. What she has done has brought her the recognition in the form of Nari Shakti Puraskar 2018, and that is the highest civilian honor for women in India. She has successfully developed a network of over 30,000 rural women, trained them, and have also connected them in such a way that adds to their livelihood. She was at Royal Albert Palace in New Jersey recently, and here are some highlights from that event.
नमस्कार, मैं रुमा देवी इंडिया राजस्थान से। आज मैं न्यू जर्सी में हूँ और यहाँ पे अल्बर्ट हॉल में बहुत ही शानदार प्रोग्राम हुआ है और शोभना बहन ने भी यहाँ पे बहुत अच्छा आयोजन करवाया है। अल्बर्ट जी, दीपक जी, पल्लवी, तो सबने मिल के मेहनत करके यहाँ पे एक बड़ा जो प्रोग्राम है वो ऑर्गेनाइज़ करवाया है। यहाँ पे फैशन शो करवाया है, तो मैं इन सभी से मिल के बहुत खुश हूँ। और हमारे जो गाँव की बहनें हैं, रूरल एरिया की जो बहनें हैं, वो अपने हाथों से प्रोडक्ट बनाती है, जो अभी हम यूएसए में उनके लिए कुछ करना चाह रहे हैं। तो हमें उम्मीद है कि शोभना जी हमारे साथ में खड़ी है, तो हमें कोई ज़्यादा टेंशन नहीं है कि हम यहाँ पे आउटलेट खोल सकते हैं। और साथ ही आप ऑनलाइन rumadevi.com पे भी देख सकते हैं प्रोडक्ट। और अगर आपको किसी को वेडिंग के लिए, दिवाली गिफ्टिंग के लिए ऐसे कॉर्पोरेट गिफ्ट चाहिए, तो भी हम कस्टमाइज करके बना सकते हैं। तो आप हमसे संपर्क कर सकते हैं। मैं आपको नंबर आपके साथ में शेयर करती हूँ, 9680990029। इस पर आप संपर्क कर सकते हैं। हमारा जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है वो नॉन फॉर प्रॉफिट है और अभी हमारा जो सपना है वो है कि हम वहाँ पे एक स्मार्ट विलेज बनाना चाह रहे हैं जिसमें सारी फैसिलिटी हो और 100 गांव की महिलाएं उससे जुड़ेगी तो उन 100 गांव की महिलाओं को बेनिफिट मिलेगा, वो 100 गांव हैं वो डेवलप होंगे। तो ये एक हमारा प्रोजेक्ट है, ये हम पूरा करना चाह रहे हैं। इसमें आप सभी का सहयोग चाहिए, इसके बिना ये पूरा नहीं हो पाएगा। तो आप यहाँ पे एनआरआई फाउंडेशन के साथ में भी जुड़ के कर सकते हैं और सीधा हमारी एनजीओ जो जीवीसीएस है उनके पास में एफसीआरए है तो उसमें भी आप कर सकते हैं। यहाँ पे दीपक जी कावड़िया हैं, उनसे संपर्क करके आप हमारे साथ में जुड़ सकते हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू आईटीवी का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, आप सभी का सहयोग मिला, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
हमने यहाँ बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम तो किया। रूमा देवी जी इधर न्यू जर्सी में आए, जब हो हमारे घर पे आए, ऐसे हमारी मेहमान बन के इंडिया से आए तो हमें कुछ तो करना पड़ता है उनके लिए। लेकिन रूमा जी का जो प्रोडक्शन है, जो रूमा देवी का जो हमने फैशन शो किया, आई वांट दैट फैशन शो टीवी एशिया में सबसे ज़्यादा रखो रूमा देवी के नाम से। और हमको जैसे सभी लोग ने आज हमको बहुत सपोर्ट किया। ITV गोल्ड प्लीज़ सपोर्ट रूमा देवी जी को, उनका ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा फैशन शो आपकी टीवी में रखो। और ITV गोल्ड प्लीज़ पुट द लॉट्स ऑफ एडवर्टाइज फॉर रूमा देवी जी की प्रोडक्ट का। आई वुड लाइक टू सपोर्ट रूमा देवी जी विद शक्ति द पावर फ्रॉम द न्यू जर्सी। शोभना पटेल, थैंक यू।
Thank you, ITV Gold and Parik Worldwide Media for introducing Roma Devi to our New York, New Jersey community. आज रोमा देवी जी का प्रोग्राम था, रोमा देवी जी हमारे साथ में हैं और हमने रोमा देवी जी को प्रोडक्ट्स को अमेरिका में मार्केट करने का शोभा बहन के साथ में एक संकल्प लिया है कि हम रोमा देवी जी के प्रोडक्ट को अमेरिका के मार्केट में इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगे। शोभा बहन और हम लोगों ने उनको प्रोडक्ट्स को रिटेल स्टोर्स में, चेन स्टोर्स में ले जाने का निश्चय किया है। हमें एक टीम बनानी है। हम लोग सबसे रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे, प्लीज़ ज्वाइन हैंड्स विद अस टू इन सपोर्ट ऑफ रोमा देवी प्रोडक्ट्स, रोमा देवी फाउंडेशन and for a good cause, to help the tribal women, over 30,000 women in India. And not only 30,000 women, she is a brand ambassador and goodwill ambassador for 29 lakh women in tribal women. उनके प्रोडक्ट ट्राइब्स इंडिया की स्टोर्स में है, 130 स्टोर्स में है। वैसा ही प्रोडक्ट्स हमारे को अमेरिका में इंट्रोड्यूस करना है ताकि इनके मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्रोडक्ट, इनके लेबर को, इनके ट्राइबल वुमेंस को, रूरल वुमेंस को जॉब मिल सके। तो रोमा जी, हम आपके सपोर्ट में हैं। हमारे साथ है सुरभि, पल्लवी और शोभा बहन जो फुल सपोर्ट में हैं। और रोमा जी, हम यहाँ पे से अमेरिका से फुल सपोर्ट देंगे।
थैंक यू। दीपक जी का बहुत सपोर्ट रहा, सुरभि जी का, पल्लवी जी का, शोभना बहन का, अल्बर्ट जी का, सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि इतना अच्छा जो प्रोग्राम है ये ऑर्गेनाइज करवाया और सब लोगों से मुलाकात करवाई और इन्होंने पर्सनल अपना सपोर्ट दिया हमारे फाउंडेशन को। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू सो मच।
हेलो, मैं शिव अग्रवाल फ्रॉम वर्ल्ड पीस एंड हेल्थ फाउंडेशन। आज हम यहाँ पे अल्बर्ट हॉल में एक विशेष हस्ती को ऑनर करने के लिए एकत्रित हुए हैं, उनसे मिले हैं। श्री रूमा देवी जी, उनकी लाइफ की जर्नी बहुत ही इनक्रेडिबल है। वो एक बहुत ही छोटे गांव से, बहुत ही छोटी जगह से आई हैं। एजुकेशन 8th ग्रेड पास करने के बाद उन्होंने अर्ली एज में शादी किया, सब कुछ किया, लेकिन वीमेन एम्पावरमेंट के लिए जो उन्होंने काम किया, जो 300,000 लोगों को एकत्रित किया, उनके साथ वीमेन को सबको जो है आगे लेके आई, उनसे काम कराया। छोटे छोटे 100 रुपये इकट्ठे करके 10 औरतों ने इस काम को शुरू किया और आज ये एक एम्पायर बन गया है। और कितने लोगों को एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिलता है, उनको कितने सारे अवार्ड मिल चुके हैं। तो वीमेन एम्पावरमेंट की इससे अच्छी कोई जो है मिसाल नहीं हो सकती। हम उनके लिए बहुत बहुत आभारी हैं और हम लोगों से यहाँ पे NRI से जो भी कुछ बन सकेगा उनकी संस्था के लिए हम योगदान करते रहेंगे। जय हिंद।
मैं सुधा अग्रवाल, आज मैं रूमा देवी से मिलने आई हूँ और मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई। उन्होंने एक बात कही, हर औरत को औरत का सम्मान करना चाहिए और जिस काम को भी करना है आप खड़े रहो और डटे रहो। आज उनका हौसला देख के मुझे लगा, उन्होंने कम से कम 35,000 औरतों को जो काम दिया, उनके साथ एक उन्होंने सम्मान के साथ उनको खड़ा किया, मुझे उससे बहुत बड़ी सीख मिली है। जिस काम को भी हमें करना है तो हमें लगन से करना चाहिए, जैसे रोमा जी ने किया, और हमें उनसे सीखना चाहिए कि किसी काम को करने में छोटी बड़ी बात नहीं होती है। जो भी काम आप मन से करते हैं उसमें सफलता मिलती है। राजा भैया, आपको भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू।
Dr. Kiran Bedi is a very, very well-known name. Being IPS officer, she is known for her honesty and courage. Last we remember is her serving the nation as governor of Pondicherry. And she's not just a social activist, former tennis player. She is also role model for many of us, men and women alike. Parikh Worldwide Media and ITV Gold hosted an event with Dr. Kiran Bedi at Mithas Restaurant in Edison recently, and here are some highlights from that event.
Back in those days when you joined the police force, there were not many women. No women was there in the police force. So tell me, what motivated you to join the police force?
Because I was different.
That's what makes you unique. I mean, do you have a story or something?
Yes, I was a nation tennis champion and national champion at the age of 16 and 18. I was the only girl in India doing that. And I was a topper in the university. The only one who was getting both the medals. I was the only one. And I was the only one because that was my home, which played and studied. That was the only priority. Or third priority, kuch nahi thi. I was growing up differently, and I knew around I was growing up differently.
Right.
And I was different. But I was not saying I'm different. I was growing up differently, knowing that's the right thing to do.
And so what would you tell? You know, of course, you are fearless, whether it's politics, whether it's leadership, you are fearless in everything. Especially I have two girls. So, you know, they're getting into the corporate world. So what message do you want to convey to the younger generation over here?
Go play. First of all, play every day. Boys or girls, go play. Competitively play. Play. Compete. Team member, fall, get up, exercise, endure, learn to lose and win. Play. First of all, play. Secondly, understand that if you don't read and study now, then it's later on that much of deficiency in your head.
Right.
So the more you read and study, the faster you'll grow. The time doesn't wait for you. If you use your time at a young age to the maximum, you start getting results earliest. I was a lecturer at the age of 20. I started to earn for myself at the age of 20. And 21 and a half, I was in the IPS. Why? Because I was doing everything almost right till then. So I was on my feet at the age of 21. I had a bungalow, I had a government car, I had everything around with me at the age of 21. Because I was fast forwarding all my studies. My message is that if the youth learns to value time and they understand time is not going to wait and hold on, they will then value that, invest now, take the returns right away. So if that's a message or the time will run. If you cannot catch time, you can only invest and use time. I think that's my message. If the youth understands the value of time, when they're young, nothing stops them from anybody they want to be by the time even they're mid-20s.
Thank you so much.
पीछे 10-15 साल जो कि मैं समझता हूँ या जनता समझती है कि आप एक विरोध की स्वर रही हैं। एक प्रशासक के रूप में आपका पूरा जीवन व्यवस्था को ठीक करने में लगा है, लेकिन उसके बाद जब लोगों ने उम्मीद की कि आप व्यवस्था को बाहर से दुरुस्त करेंगी विरोध में रह के, आपने सत्ता का साथ दिया और सत्ता में आकर के आपने लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर के रूप में कार्य किया। अब आप सत्ता के बाहर हैं, तो आप ये पूरे दृश्य को किस तरह देखती हैं अपने आप को, और आपको क्या लगता है कि आपने जो भी कदम उठाए हैं पिछले 10-15 साल में, क्या वो आपके व्यक्तित्व के अनुरूप थे या आपने कुछ समझौते किए?
मैंने कोई करप्शन से समझौता नहीं किया, इलीगैलिटी से कभी समझौता नहीं किया, और ना ही गलत डायरेक्शन से समझौता किया। और 5 साल की एनजीओ में मुझे एक भी गलत डायरेक्शन नहीं मिली, एक भी गलत डायरेक्शन नहीं मिली कि इसकी मदद कर दो, गलत एक भी गलत फोन नहीं आया, क्योंकि हम लोग कानून से जा रहे थे, पूरी सहायता हमें मिली। सो ये मैं आपको हकीकत से बताती हूँ। और प्रशासन से पहले मैं अपने काम कर रही थी, लिख रही थी, ट्रैवल कर रही थी, तो कौन सा समझौता। उस वक्त मैं टीवी डिबेट्स में भी जाती थी, जो देखती थी मैं बता देती थी। सो नंबर 1, 5 इयर्स का मेरा जो एक्सपीरियंस इन प्रशासन है, मैं आपको जो बता रही हूँ वही है कि जिस तरीके की पॉलिसीज इस देश को पहले पिछले, मैं इस वक्त प्रचार करने नहीं आई है, तो आपने प्लान किया और मुझे पूछ रहे हो, लेकिन 5 साल में मैंने कोई ब्लंडर नहीं देखा। अनजाने में लर्निंग, कोविड का किसी दुनिया भर में कोविड को किसी को नहीं पता था, सब बड़े बड़े देशों ने भी ब्लंडर किए। क्या वो घंटी पहले बचनी चाहिए थी, पहले लॉकडाउन होना चाहिए था, दिस कैन बी डिबेटेड टिल द काउज कम होम, बट as afterwards what was done and picked up has been commendable. पहले डिबेट यही होती रहती थी, प्राइस कौन पे करेगा, स्टेट को वैक्सीनेशन जाएगी, आधा पैसा ये देंगे, आधा। सी इट वाज एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन गोइंग ऑन, गवर्नमेंट वाज आल्सो इन अ लर्निंग स्प्री। कौन कह रहा था ये गलत हो रहा है, और उसके बाद सारा फ्री कर दिया, ऑल बाय लर्निंग। सो गवर्नेंस इज नॉट सारा कुछ आप जानते हुए गवर्नमेंट में आते हैं, यू लर्न ऑल्सो एज यू सर्व। I think this government has also learned as it served. It didn't come with the Jan Dhan Yojana and all these Yojana right from day one. It has evolved. Why? Because he listens to people. This leader listens. This governor, I do not know about other ministers, but I watch him very closely. He listens and he acts. He may not be perfect, but I don't think I would think at the moment, India is in safe hands. And if the safety remains, as an Indian citizen, I would feel और कुछ साल we will have stabilized. यूपी में इतने सारे एयरपोर्ट किसने इनॉग्रेट किए थे पहले? यूपी में इतने सारे मेडिकल कॉलेजेस पहले क्यों नहीं आए? इतनी जबरदस्त एजुकेशन पॉलिसी इतने साल पहले क्यों नहीं आई? अपना इतिहास एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में पहले क्यों नहीं आया? वैल्यू सिस्टम्स को पढ़ाने में दोबारा क्यों नहीं वापस आए? So I think all these are very important questions which getting answered आज हो रहा है. So I think we should इस वक्त आप choices देख लीजिए इस वक्त, जो we don't even know what is the choice we have today. आज अगर पलट के देखो, what is the choice you have today? It looks like a big जम्बोरी. जम्बोरी में भी कौन जिस पर आप विश्वास कर सकते हैं? So इस वक्त अगर हम खुशकिस्मत हैं और प्रार्थना करें, इस देश को कम से कम स्टेबिलिटी नेक्स्ट 5-7 years ऐसी स्टेबिलिटी रहनी चाहिए, जब तक कोई और अच्छा नेतृत्व शक्ल वाला जिसमें हम विश्वास करते आए कोई भी आए, हमारे देश को आगे ले जाए, पीछे ना ले जाए. That's our प्रार्थना today, and that's where I stand.
Welcome back. You're watching Vision of Asia Voice of the Community on ITV Gold, the program that comes to you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays at 8 p.m. And we have a special weekly edition of Vision of Asia every Sunday at 11 a.m. We appreciate your continued support, and love for our programming. Stay with us. Program continues right after these short messages. Dr. Uma Maisurekar joined us and talked to us about the upcoming Jeeronodharan and Mahakumbhabhishekam festival that is bringing lots and lots of devotees to Hindu temple Flushing. There are many festivities which have also brought over 30 priests from different places to Hindu temple. These ceremonies are so profound that being a part and witness also uplifts your spirit. Here is Dr. Uma Maisurekar. Namaskar and Pranam Umaji. Such a pleasure, an honor and joy to be sitting with you. And as I speak to you, we are almost around that festive phase which always energizes devotees, not just in New York, but people come from different cities of America. And indeed, there are musicians and priests flying from India. In addition to that, this year it is Jeeronodhar as well as Mahakumbhabhishekam. So let us begin with the significance briefly from a layman's point of view when we say Jeeronodhar, because Jeeronodhar term tells you that there is something which is being rebuilt. Is it in that context?
Namaste, Namaste Jayatan. Namaste to everybody, and certainly it's my great pleasure and honor to be talking to you on this wonderful upcoming festival. See, the Mahakumbhabhishekam Jeeronodharana simply means re-energizing the temple. And when the temple was built originally, and first consecration took place in 1977, and subsequently every 12 years we have performed. So this came as the fifth. It is understood from the Shastras, and especially the Agama Shastras, that because of continuous performance of the various pujas and the devotees coming in, exposure to so much exterior, the energy that is being produced by the different deities and also by the temple gets less and less and less. And now, therefore, as we get older, we also become less energetic. So as the temple gets older, it needs to be re-energized. And the only way we can re-energize this is by doing a whole lot of pujas, consecrations, chanting of the mantras, yagnas, which really will be done in those 5 days, a tremendous variety of pujas. And about 30 different priests will be coming from all over the place. And we have actually the Yagashalas built in the back, 8 Yagashalas, and they'll all be sitting there morning, evening. Finally, the sanctified water, that is the Kalasha water, which is taken up on the roof, on the different towers, which is poured up on there. And that is really the Kumbhabhishekam of the Rajagopura and all other Gopuras. At the same time, soon after that is done, the consecrated or the consecrated water, which is again brought into the Mahamandapa, and the sanctified water is poured on the different deities. So that really is the conclusion of the Kumbhabhishek. In other words, by then, from our point of view, the way the Agama Shastras dictate is that the consecration is now complete. So the temple is now open with full energy for the devotees to come in. It's a simple lay way of understanding what this is all about. I mean, it's not necessary to get into the depth of what these different pujas are, because it is too complicated. But I think the principle for anywhere, I think it is just like as we get older, we say we want to take some vacation, we want to energize ourselves, we do certain things. So the principle is more or less the same. But here it is all as per what our rishis have written about the Agama Shastras. These wonderful priests, knowledgeable priests, they will now reenact the whole thing in those 5 days.
Wonderful. And I'll backtrack now. And there are times when people say how it will happen, will it happen, why it has to happen. That is one way of questioning. And in our tradition also, questioning is also encouraged. But questioning with faith is encouraged. So when Lord Krishna is being asked,
anything and everything by Arjuna. He patiently he hears and responds. But there is one thing, Umaji, personally I feel that if you don't get into the water, you won't learn to swim. And if you keep on talking about the principles of swimming, it won't help. Same way in our tradition, I think our scriptures, and you mentioned about Agama Shastras, the way they guide you, that helps if you practice. So practice, I think, is the key word here. Now, I request you to go back to that day when you who were given the name, which is the name of Mahavallabh Ganapati's mother, you found yourself coming for the first time to this temple and you had darshan of Mahavallabh Ganapati here. I don't know whether you would recollect that particular visit distinctly or not, but with that, your initial kind of bonding with the deity here.
Yeah, certainly. You know, of course, it's going back a long time ago, and I was actually in my residency in OBGYN, and then being as a resident, very busy schedule, and fortunately, I was living maybe about 25 minutes from the temple, so always had a great, what shall I say, bhakti towards Lord Ganesha, even from back home. My grandfather has a temple, still has a temple there, of mainly of Ganesha and also for Vishnu. And so this kind of influence at home definitely made me a very strong bond with the Lord. And I used to do, not that I'm such a great doing pujas at home, morning till evening, not that, but the thought process is constantly there. And I always pray to the Lord before I do anything. So that was the way I was, and I'm still here. So when I just came to know at the time, it was still being built at the time, see. So I used to come and see what is happening, and the day the installation was done, I still recall that whole picture in front of me, and it was one of my greatest moments of joy, because I thought, listen, I have come all the way, I left my family, everybody was not there, but I found a place where Ganesha is there, which is my favorite Lord. And so that bond immediately got to me, you know. And I remember that day I literally cried, because I said, there's some meaning for all this. And so I waited, and I was doing OBGYN, which, as you know, is a very tough residency. But I waited as long as I could for the whole day, for the full consecration to finish. And then all my thoughts as I was growing, as my mother, what she used to teach me about the various shlokas, stotras, and that you should do prayers in the morning, all these thoughts came back to me and said, now, you know, even though as a resident it's hard sometimes to stay all night long, you come home and you sleep, but still I should spare myself even for 3 minutes, 5 minutes to think of the Lord, chant something. And from then on, I can tell you, I used to come to the temple as often as I could, even if it's for 5 minutes. I would just drive by, go in, have darshan and go. So that each time I did, the bond only strengthened, And listening to the various chanting, and of course as you drive, you listen to some of these music and all this, that only enhances. So I think what is important for anyone to build relationship with any God, whoever it be, is to have first firm faith in the Lord. You know, you have to have faith in your own dharma first, and then, okay, whether I worship Lord Ganesha, whether I worship Lord Krishna, whether I worship Lord Vishnu, whoever it be, but I think that strength should be there. And I do not have to put down anyone who says, oh, I don't believe in Ganesha, but I believe in Krishna. Fair enough. But who are we to decide? You know, we only say there is somebody above us who is looking after us, and we worship this Lord in different forms. That's it. And it took me some time to convince some of the people that I used to meet and say, they used to tell me, oh, you're a great Ganesha Bhakta. I said, yeah, I'm a Ganesha Bhakta, but doesn't mean that I don't worship, nor do I pay my respects to the other deities. I said, just like in a family, you know, you have mother and father, but sometimes mother is very close to you, or father is close to you. It doesn't mean you don't respect the other person. So it is just the bond that develops. And therefore, and many times I used to sit and ask the Lord my questions, you know, and I used to think I used to get the answers back. Because of the faith, I think, that is the thing. So the more you worship, the more you sit in front of any deity, and talk to the Lord within yourself, and you get the answers back, that only intensifies the faith. And this is how the first consecration literally built my inner confidence, because I had just come to the United States barely 3 years or so, and made me think, I'm really not that far from home. I'm right here, and the Lord is right here. So that is how my beginning started. And in between, I had to leave for a year or two to go to Boston and stuff, came back again, continued until today, it continues.
Parsi Penny Sanatar Mandir in New Jersey have completed its 3 decades. Yes, 30th anniversary was celebrated with Shiva Shakti Havan. Many families, over 50 of them, participated in the Havan. Here is a special report on the event that was marking 30th anniversary for an institute that is spreading and celebrating religion, culture, and Indian heritage.
कांचन मुखरयति मोहाय जगत तस्मै नारायणं विलेपनं श्रेष्ठं चंदनम मंत्र बोलो पंडित जी ओम काम नंदवाहन स्वामीन्द्र स्वाम बृहस्पति स्वाम
हरिओम। प्रभु के प्यारे भक्तों, सनातन मंदिर परसीपनी में भगवान की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा किए आज 30 साल हुआ है। भगवान की कृपा से आज मंदिर में बहुत बड़ा धामधूम से शिव शक्ति महायज्ञ रखा था। काफ़ी भक्तों ने लाभ लिया है और अच्छी तरह से यज्ञ धामधूम से हुआ है। भगवान सबका मंगल करे, ऐसे मैं परमात्मा को प्रार्थना करता हूँ। और सनातन मंदिर में जो हम त्यौहार करते हैं वो त्यौहार नक्षत्र योग करण के हिसाब से करते हैं। अनुकूलता का हिसाब से हम त्यौहार नहीं मनाते, शास्त्र के हिसाब से होता है, क्योंकि सनातन धर्म वैदिक धर्म है, सनातन धर्म मूल धर्म है। भगवान सबका मंगल करे। और इस महायज्ञ में हमारे मंदिर के ट्रस्टी, कार्यकर और काफ़ी स्वयं सेवकों ने बहुत बड़ा हेल्प किया है, तभी ये महायज्ञ हुआ है। सबको यज्ञ की बहुत बहुत आप सबको बधाई हो। परमात्मा सबका मंगल करे, ऐसे मैं भगवान को प्रार्थना करता हूँ। ये भगवान हमारे मंदिर के आप दर्शन ध्यान से कीजिए, ये साक्षात भगवान है। और भगवान के चरणों में मैं प्रणाम करता हूँ। और सब कार्यकरों ने जो इस यज्ञ में हेल्प किया है, पूजा में बैठे, सबको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और ITV वाले हमारे डॉक्टर साहब को और उनकी टीम जो है भाटिया जी, आपको भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। भगवान सब मंगल करे। हरिओम।
हेलो, हरिओम एवरीबडी ને બધાને મારા ઓમ નમઃ શિવાય। સનાતન મંદિરને આજે 30 વર્ષ પૂરા થયા છે, તેથી સરસ પ્રવીણભાઈએ સેલિબ્રેશન કર્યું અને એમનું ડેકોરેશન ખરેખર જોયા જેવું હોય છે। દિલથી એ બધું ડેકોરેશન મંદિરમાં કરે છે અને બહુ સાથ સહકાર આપે છે અમારા સનાતન મંદિરમાં। ભગવાન એમને ખૂબ લાંબુ આયુષ્ય આપે અને એમનું ખૂબ ભલું કરે અને બધા ભક્તો અને સર્વને મારા ઓમ નમઃ શિવાય। સર્વને ભગવાન સુખી કરે।
Hina Surani from House of Chick and Vandana Puri join hands to present a festive high-end collection of designer ensembles, jewelry and accessories. And this all was available for visitors at Lake Chateau Banquets in New Jersey. designers talk to ITV Gold about this event and what is the thought process, creativity, and inspiration behind these luxury clothes. Let us hear.
Everyone, today we are at an exhibition, House of Chic, in collaboration with Vandana Malhotra Puri, and we're going to talk to you about what we're wearing today. So we're wearing Rockabella Creations, designed by Kaveri, and she works with 21 craftsmen to create handmade, hand-painted designs.
So she's based in New Delhi, and they do everything from like a little bit more contemporary, as you can see from her earrings, and they even do like traditional contemporary, you know, matching with this beautiful outfit. You can follow them on Instagram at Rockabella Creations and see all of their wonderful products. They do everything from evening wear to contemporary wear. And we'll tell you a little bit about who we're wearing as well while we're at it. So today I am wearing the beautiful House of Chic collection. It's Hina Sarani collabed with Anjali Kapoor, and they do everything from bridal to ready to wear to everything. You can contact Hina for bridal. And as you can see, it's very, very beautiful with their cuts, very flattering. They have this gorgeous border with a can underneath it to give that elongated figure. And I'll pass it on to gorgeous Naisha.
So I'm wearing Itna Drama, and they specialize in Sharara sets with Gota embellishments like this one. Their products are made of organic cotton mill or silk.
Hi, thank you. Hi, my name is Kushi. I am with House of Clinic for 4 years. This is one of the best events I've been to. And this dress I'm wearing is by Basil Leaf. Don't look at this. This is the main lady whose dress is on. Her name is Neela Mess. And my jewelry, my beautiful jewelry, is by this lovely, stunning lady. What's your name?
Disha Thadani, and my brand is called Zever by Curio.
Yeah, so. And this is our brand, this is our look.
Thank you, ITV, for coming in and covering this gorgeous ensemble that these people have done. I have this amazing designer. I think I love, it's so different, and I love it. Look at Sasha herself. She's like, I'm in an attitude mode. The jewelry is shining bright. And I have this is a special, there's a name for this.
This is Jodhpuri. It comes from Jodhpur and Jaipur. The inlay work is done with real stones on metal.
Very nice. And what do you say, what is your selection this time? What was the inspiration behind this whole lineup that you have today?
I just came here. I thought this is a good time to be in the festive mode, and I wanted people to, you know, experience the color, the fabrics and everything. So and I have all natural fiber fabrics, so very nice.
You know, ITV Gold, I must tell all the viewers that I've seen these people come in the morning. They don't not only design well, but they are so hardworking and so passionate about their product. They don't mind spending that 1 hour, you know, ironing, steaming their clothes so that एक single crease ज़्यादा नहीं होनी चाहिए. जो उनके मन में है, वो पूरा उसी तरह से वो outfit बाहर आना चाहिए. और जैसे jewelry है, वो fabric देखती हैं, outfit देखती हैं और बोलती हैं, okay, Vandana, I think this will go. The passion just kind of is oozing out of both of them, and that's what I love about these designers.
Time to say goodbye from today's Vino Vaishya community, but time also to recollect. You can be with us through our programming on our Facebook page, so be our friends there as well as subscribe to ITV Gold's YouTube channel and keep writing events at itvgold.com. Events at itvgold.com. Stay well, stay safe. Thanks for being with us. This is Ashok Vyas. Namaste.